Hi, good morning, students. Today I would like to introduce the second poem from the General English, Digging. It is written by Seamus Heaney, the great poet from Ireland. So he was born on 13th April 1939 in Northern Ireland. So his father was a farmer and a cattle dealer, and from the very beginning of his life, he struggled a lot, and he worked as a English lecturer for some time, and his interest to write poems so made him famous. He was a Nobel Prize winner. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1995. So he died in uh, August 2013. The poem Digging is a very good poem. It, it mainly describes the five senses: sense of seeing, sense of smelling, sense of hearing, sense of touch, and sense of taste we can find in the poem. So here, here we find three generations: grandfather, father, and our poet. Grandfather was a farmer, worked with a spade. Father is also a farmer, worked with a spade, and our speaker is writer. He is working with a pen. So he says, I am digging with a pen. My father dug my father dug with a spade, and my grandfather dug with a spade, but I am digging with a pen. So when his father was working in the field, he looked at him and he immediately recollected his grandfather who worked in the potato fields. He could work well, he could collect more turf in a day. So he used to carry milk for his grandfather, and he observed how his grandfather was working in the potato fields. So this is all the experiences he describes in the poem. So in the very beginning line, we can find the sense of touch, as the scratch pen rests between my fingers, he says. So we can find the sense of touch in the very beginning lines, and while he was looking at his father, we can find sense of seeing, sense of smell. See, the coarse boot nestled on the leg. That is a very good example for sense of touch. How the boot was firmly attached to his knee. That is what we find the sense of touch here. So the speaker describes each and every sense in a detailed manner. So by describing his uh, three generations, and he uses all the five senses. You can see his grandfather could handle the spade well, just like his old man. See, his grandfather can handle the spade well, in the same way his father is handling the spade. And coming to the poet, the poet can handle the pen, but he has no spade in his hands. So the speaker describes grandfather as a strong digger who dug for dug for the potatoes in the fields, and after that, the next generation father uh, is digging in the potato fields, and how the cold smell of potatoes, that we can find the sense of smell here, the cold smell of potatoes mold, the quench and slap. They say there is a sense of hearing and sense of touch. We can find the quelch and slap of soggy peat. That is a sense of smelling we find here. So, in the same way, the speaker, the poet uses all the five senses in a beautiful manner, and by describing the three generations, the grandfather, father, and the poet himself. So, the both old generations followed farming, and this new generation uh, is digging with pen. My father, my grandfather digging with spade, but I am digging with a pen. So he says in this way. So the speaker says, explaining the impact his rural upbringing had on him. He ends the stanza by saying he has no spirit to follow men like his father and grandfather. See, he finally ends. He finally ends the poem that he has no spirit to follow men like his father and grandfather. So finally, we can find the conclusion. The final stanza, however, returns to the pen mentioned in the first, replacing the spade with the pen in the speaker's hands. I will dig with it. I will dig with it means I will dig with the pen. So it is a poem mainly focused on senses, sense of seeing, sense of smelling, sense of hearing, sense of touch, and sense of taste. See, uh, the very beginning lines we can find sense of touch, sense of seeing, and sense of hearing. See, quelch and slap, sense of smell, the cold smell of potatoes, soggy peat, that is also example for sense of smell. And when our poet brought a bottle of milk to his grandfather, and his grandfather drank the milk, that's we can find that sense of taste in this line. So it is ultimately a poem of senses. How beautifully he beautifully used senses, like all the senses, like John Keats. So read the poem and feel all the senses in all the stanzas. Thank you.